will the virtuous Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize no birth. Cung kính đại đức tận tình, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, thất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Suchedoye Olahodi Samyao Samputosye. Nam mô Tát Tát Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Hà Đề Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Tọa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa, bai jie wan jie nan zao yu, wo jin jie wa de shou chi, yuan jie ru lai zhen shi yi. All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Huineng, Venerable YongHua, Venerable Lafong people, and all good no advisors of Mitofo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖、师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa lục tổ hòa thượng Điên Hóa quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện trí thức A Di Đà Phật. Today is the 9th of August 2020. We are coming to you from Wei Mountain Temple in Rosemead, California. We are continuing to discuss the 6th Patriarch Sutra, Chapter 7, Faculties and Conditions. The great Patriarch is continuing to teach his superior disciples. We are currently on slide number 457. A comment, how come that thing, that light is turned off? Is it by design? I see. Okay. Hey, baby, look at the baby. Yeah, the baby is awake and yawning. All right, second month? 1 month, but going on the second month. Yes. Oh, look how pretty she is. Yeah. Welcome, baby. Okay, Sutra text. As Xuance's words were consonant with the words of all the patriarchs, Xuance asked him, Kind sir, from whom did you obtain the Dharma?
出言暗合诸祖，策云：仁者得法师谁？
Okay, so let's see. We are talking about YongHua or Xuance, who researched Vimalakirti Sutra, and he understood the mind ground, and then he met with one of the six patriarchs' disciples, Venerable Xuan Tse, and they talked, they spoke the Dharma together, discussed the Dharma together, they debated together, and so Xuan Tse is very impressed with the depth of understanding of YongHua Chan Master. So that's a Yuan Tse asked him. So you see, we are on the commentary slide 458. As Xuan Tse's words were consonant with the words of the patriarchs, Xuan Jue's words, sorry. What happened is, Xuan Jue, when you speak Dharma, the professionals, it's easy for you to speak by yourself. Okay, you can prepare a written thesis or a written presentation, a written Dharma talk, and you simply go through that. Okay, and it's easy to do because you basically copy and plagiarize, if you will, the other teachers. That's all you have to do. However, when you have someone to talk with, this is where the difficulties arise. That is when they ask you to, number one, figure out the depth of your understanding, and number two, whether you're able to apply that to yourself in your daily life. Okay, so it's an active conversation, if you will, and it's very dangerous when you talk to other enlightened people because there's no way to pretend that you understand or you have wisdom. And that's why part of the lectures is the most dangerous part of the lecture, to me personally, is the fact you leave it open for people to ask questions. Okay? And so even though some of you are not enlightened, but your questions are coming from such a, shall we say, incomprehensible angles, that is very challenging to try to understand and make sense. Okay? But it's a lot more dangerous. I talked to some enlightened masters, enlightened Chan masters, and they don't talk like you. They don't ask questions like you. It's very interesting. Yeah. But so when Xuan Tse, Master Huineng disciple, talked with Xuan Jue, who is YongHua, who is a Chan master, he found out that Xuan Jue, the new guy, has very sound basis for his Dharma. That's very important. Without the proper foundation, it's very difficult to get enlightened. Okay? So, and you notice, as soon as Xuan Tse detected that Xuan Jue's words are the proper Dharma, consistent with the proper Dharma. The words of the patriarchs means proper Dharma. The patriarchs, all the patriarchs' teachings are called proper Dharma. All their interpretations are in accord with the proper Dharma. All the methods they teach us are in order to help us understand the proper Dharma, penetrate the proper Dharma. Okay, that's what patriarchs do. So that's why Xuan Tse, who is a disciple of one of the greatest teachers, he says, "Gee, how come you understand so much? What do you learn from?" You see, this is again, it points out to me that Xuan Tse's foundation is so strong. The sixth patriarch teaching to him is so strong that he understands that the understanding that you achieve, you obtain, are from a good knowing advisor. So that's why he asks, who do you learn it from? Okay? So right there in this sentence here indicates to you this is the nature of Mahayana pursuits, Mahayana training and Mahayana studying. Okay? Meaning that you look for a competent and wise teacher. Okay? You don't hit the books. Okay? You don't get on the internet and try to figure things out yourself. That's a very serious mistake that people in modern days, modern times, are committing. Back then in China, in the sixth Patriarch time, in the flourishing era of Mahayana, they all look for a good knowing advisor. They don't try to figure it out themselves. Why not? Because when you try to figure out things yourself, try to understand the proper Dharma, it's not possible because you use your thinking mind to try to understand, to try to figure it out, and it is a self-defeating process because you cannot depend on the false to arrive at the true. If your mind, your thinking mind, is a false mind that you depend on every day to make a living, to communicate, to relate to others, but when you use it, the same false mind, same thinking mind, to understand the proper Dharma, it's not possible. It's impossible. Because in order to understand the proper Dharma, your thinking mind has to what? Stop. Thank you. It has to stop. As long as you're thinking, it's not possible for you to understand the proper Dharma. You have to stop thinking. And that's what Chan meditation is about. Okay? Any form of Buddhist practices main purpose is to bring you, to prime you, and to bring you to the state where your thinking mind stops. Then, only then, your true wisdom can unfold and shine. Is that clear? And that's why until you are able to stop thinking, until you're able to have real wisdom, you're best off depending on a good known advisor. It's a lot faster than otherwise. Contrast that to the Hinayana, where they depend on grinding it out, sitting and meditate. Okay, the success rate of those are so low. Okay, very low success rate, and furthermore, you have no protection. Okay, you need a lot of protection when you cultivate, and finally. The danger of trying to grind it out and doing it by yourself. And let me tell you, I try to tell a lot of Hinayana people, okay? They come from Hinaya, very proud Hinayana traditions, very proud Hinayana Theravada temples, and they don't listen. The danger is that you go off on a tangent and you cannot tell. You wouldn't know at all. You wouldn't know. You would not be aware of it. And you will often go off on a tangent, you will spin out of orbit, and it's very hard to recover. Okay, yes, question from the internet.
If I don't think, how can I live and survive? I am not a monk who can afford to sit down and do nothing.
A monk sitting down and do nothing? I resemble that. It gets real personal now. Do I look like I sit down and do nothing all day? I know you have such a low opinion of me, but My disciples, I tell you, I assure you, they don't get to sit down and do nothing all day. They bust their butts working all day. So the question is not fair. And I really take issues with that, respectfully. I preface my answer, my comment with saying that you use thinking mind to make a living, to relate to others in your normal life. That's what we do, okay? That's part of living. But in order for you to hope to open your true wisdom, okay, you cannot use a thinking mind. However, let me put it this way, to appease this person who seems to resent my easygoing life. You can't win them all. I really feel bad about this. I thought my life has meaning. Let me recover, my balance. Where was I lost my train of thought. Emotions get the better of me. My point here, I think, is that before you become enlightened, before you can stop your mind, your thinking mind, okay, you use it on your daily life every day, okay. And you train your spiritual practices, whether it's you name it, whether it's Tai Chi or Qigong or yoga, you name it. Okay, they progress along because they allow the mind to stop thinking more frequently, if you will. That's what the other disciplines do, but they don't realize that's the case. There's no way for you to become a high level, let's say, guru, unless your mind can stop to a certain degree, to a certain extent. Not totally, but you can, let's say, stop around 3/4, 75% of your thinking mind. Okay, and that's how it works. That's why you progress higher and higher. Okay, however, but the non-Buddhist disciplines, they cannot stop the mind 100%, whereas we have the technologies to do that. Okay? Now, indulge me on that. It's not something you understand, okay? But that's why the clear distinction for us in Buddhism about Buddhist pursuits versus non-Buddhist pursuits, because only the Buddhist disciplines have the training, have the technology to bring you to the point where the thinking mind completely stops, whereas the non-Buddhist disciplines don't have that knowledge at all. Okay, so after you're able to become enlightened, after you're able to put your mind to a stop, bring your mind to a stop, okay, you still must use your thinking mind to relate to others, to live in society. So it's not like after you become enlightened, you don't use the thinking mind at all. It's not true. So don't be alarmed, okay? You have plenty of chances to use the thinking mind the rest of your life. Meditate, practice Buddhism, practice Mahayana. However, if you're able to put in a stop to your thinking mind, now you have a choice. To use the thinking mind or not use the thinking mind. Okay? Before that, you have no choice. You are a slave to your thinking process. You cannot stop your thinking. That's a fact. Anyone disagrees with me? Anyone tells me I can stop my thinking mind? Raise your hand. Let me laugh at you. Korea. Any of you in Korea can stop your thinking mind. See what I mean? The Koreans are not there. How about you, proud Americanos? Anyone? Helen, put your hands down. I wish, no dinner for you. Troublemaker. Okay? Yeah, very good. Why is it the case? Because most of you know that you cannot stop your thinking mind. Yes? You think non-stop all day. You worry, and you worry. I speak from experience. Okay? Yes? And some of you who are able to stop your thinking mind would not dare raise your hand because I will beat you up. Okay? Very good. So I rest my case. If you really are able to stop your thinking mind, you would never raise your hand. It's a very subtle hint. All right? Okay, let's continue. 459, Sutta text. He replied, I have heard the Vaipulya Sutras and Shastras, receiving each from a master. Later, upon reading the Vimalakirti Sutra, I awakened to the doctrine of the Buddha mind. But as yet, no one has certified me.
曰：我听方等经论各有师承，后于维摩经悟佛心宗，未有证明者。
All right, 460 commentary. So Xuanjie, which is YongHua, a very famous Chinese chant master, he replied, I have heard the Vaipulya Sutras and Shastras, receiving each from a master. Vaipulya is the second period of teachings that Shakyamuni Buddha did, actually third. After the honored one became enlightened, the first thing he did was to teach the Bodhisattvas. He says, these are primed to be taught, and so he explained the Avatamsaka Sutra to these Bodhisattvas in 21 days. Okay, just 21 days, he explained the entire sutra, which is as long as anything you can imagine, and even things you can't even imagine. Okay, but in a state of samadhi, he explained the sutra to the bodhisattvas, and only the bodhisattvas could hear him and listen to it. It's not like you can post it on YouTube and you can listen to it. You can't. Okay? That's back then. There's no YouTube back then. And then so he's done. After 21 days, he's done teaching. Okay? But then he remembered, I came here not to only teach the bodhisattvas, I have to teach the humans and the gods and all living beings. So he spent the next, I forgot how many years, 22, maybe 23 years, teaching the Agama store. Okay? He explained a lot of sutras. It took him about 20 plus years to explain that. Okay? His primary audience were the humans and the gods. Okay, it's called Agama because it's called the Incomparable Dharma. Why is it called incomparable? Incomparable because in that period, in that era, the store of teaching, he taught the humans and the cultivators how to certify to arhatship or pratyeka Buddhahood. Okay? So it's incomparable because until then, all human knowledge, okay, non-Buddhist knowledge, can only bring you to the formless realm, to the top of our world, cannot go beyond that. With the Agama store, the incomparable teaching, you're able to attain small enlightenment, meaning you can transcend this world. Whereas the non-Buddhist approaches can reach a peak of this world. 8th samadhi, if you will, that's it. You cannot go further. They don't know how to go further. Okay? But with the Agama store, the Buddha saw that because he himself got to the top of this world himself. He himself, after he shaved his head, he went to find a teacher in India and reached 8th samadhi himself. And he found that at the 8th level samadhi, what happened? You're very blissful, you're very happy, but you still suffer. Suffer has not ceased. So he said, this is not enough. I need to find another route that I can put an end to suffering forever. No more suffering. Okay? So he went into the snow mountain and did ascetic practices for 6 years, eating 1 grain of rice and 1 grain of wheat, something like that, per day. To the point, after 6 years, it's all skin and bones, which is remarkable because you're supposed to die because of lack of nutrition, lack of calories, and it's very cold in Snow Mountain as you can imagine, in the top of the Himalayas in India. So after 6 years, he said, no, I pushed myself to the limit, to the point where no human can ever do this. So this is a dead end. So then he descended from the mountain, gave up his ascetic practices, which back then was believed to bring you to enlightenment. And he demonstrated to himself that ascetic practices would not help you become enlightened. So he gave up, okay? And descended from a mountain, received some milk, rice, gruel from a goddess, okay? And he restored his health with 1 bowl of rice, milk, rice, gruel. Okay, 1 bowl. Okay, it's not known how heavy he was. So, but with 1 bowl he recovered his health, and then he sat under the Bodhi tree in India, and he says, I will not get up unless I become enlightened. So after 49 days, he saw a North Star going by at night, and he became enlightened. Okay? So, right after that, again, as I said, he taught the Bodhisattvas for 21 days, and he says, who else can I interest them in Buddhism? And so he saw his previous 5 attendants who abandoned him, so he came back and taught them the Agama store, if you will, the Agama teachings, which those 5 attendants used to be in 8th level samadhi. All right? So he went back to them. They were practicing at Deer Park, and he saw them, he taught them, and Ashanta Kondinya was the first one to awaken. He certified to first stage arhatship by the first sermon the Buddha spoke to him. Okay? And that's the beginning of the Agama store. So he started teaching that for 20 plus years. Okay? And in doing that, it helps a lot of externalists. A lot of the Buddha's disciples were externalists. Fire worshippers, they worshipped fire, they worshipped water, the water goddess, and so forth. Okay, wind spirits and so forth, but Vishnu and so forth. But so a lot of them learned the Agama store, the Agama teaching, and they all certified to arhatship. Among them were Shariputra and Mahamoggallana, number one in wisdom and number one in spiritual penetrations, in spiritual powers, if you will. So this is a very powerful Dharma. That's not until the Buddha started to teach. It's not available in the human realm. That knowledge is privy to the Buddhists only. That's why it's called incomparable. So far, so good. And after that, there are a lot of his disciples who had potential. So the Buddha started to teach them Vaipulya, Vaipulya teaching. This basically says, I'm preparing you to go towards the bigger enlightenment, not the small enlightenment of the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas, okay? But the bigger enlightenment. In order to get there, I need to prepare you for 8 years. He taught Vaipulya Sutras. Okay? So that's what Vaipulya is, that era, 8 years for 8 years after the Agama era that the Buddha taught them. Okay, and this is the sutras that Venerable Xuanjue received from his masters. Okay, it's kind of interesting that he says, later upon reading the Vimalakirti Sutra, I awakened to the doctrine of the Buddha mind. Okay, and he researched the Vimalakirti Sutra. Was given to him by his one of the masters, and it's not clear which masters, so you can tell. It's reasonable to assume, to guess that one of those masters is enlightened. Okay. So that's that master gave him this particular sutra, and because of this transmission, okay, I know you modern day people don't appreciate this, but the fact that the Dharma has to be transmitted to you, okay, for you to be able to really benefit from the Dharma. You don't simply pick up a book and read. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it's the master who has the wisdom and can look at your potential and says, okay, this person is worthy. He's of the caliber, okay, to be able to absorb this kind of Buddhist teachings. That's why the transmission is very important. Okay, so he received, that's called transmission. From his side is receiving, from the master's side is transmitting. Is that clear? So this is a very formal process, very important process that precludes that precludes comparisons with researching the internet or going to the library, okay, or for borrowing a book from your temple. It's an enlightened master who transmitted that Dharma to you, and in doing that, it says, number one, he feels you have the potential, and number two, what you don't know is that in that transmission, you know what happens? It's like a dowry. He's giving you blessings, opens your mind. He says, Open your mind to this Dharma. Okay? And also, so he's giving you blessings. Okay? He opens your mind to be more receptive to the teaching. And also, he also sending his Dharma protectors to protect you. You think it's a casual thing for us in Buddhism? It's extremely, extremely delicate process. It requires so many elements for you to be successful. It's not a casual thing at all for us. You understand? So that's why it's no coincidence that this Xuan Jue, he received the Dharma, the sutras, a few of the sutras from his teachers. Yes, not all of them are enlightened, but one of them was enlightened. That's my personal guess, my humble opinion. That's why he transmitted Vimala Kirti that's enabled this guy to open his mind to the teaching. Trust me, if it's not transmitted to you, okay, it's extremely difficult, if not impossible, for you to do it on your own. And that's a Chinese secret, which got lost later on in these times, because the Chinese now, they're all making the same mistakes that we non-Chinese people. Okay, they read voraciously. They researched the internet. Okay, but they no longer draw near good knowing advisors who are supposed to help them understand the teaching. Yes, question, Oranja.
Master, so I guess just for my understanding, we may see these things on the internet, we may pick up the book in the library or this library here of a sutra,
yes,
or whatever we may read, but it really is our good knowing advisor who has the key that can unlock the wisdom for us.
It's not just the key. What I'm emphasizing is the fact that the transmission, even though it's not formally done, the transmission, along with the transmission, is given to you. Okay, along with the transmission comes protection, blessings to be able to open your mind. Those are critical in your success. It's not something you can do by yourself, unfortunately. That's it. Wrong to assume you can figure it out. That's what we like to say nowadays, right? I figure it out. Good luck trying to figure it out. Okay? Yes. Does that answer your question?
Actually, I had one other thing. May I ask, or you can move on?
No, you can do a follow-up question before you forget.
Okay, thank you, because I will.
The older people that becoming forgetful.
That's true. Let's see if I can remember it.
See, she forgot already.
I think it's. So I've been here for just a few years, as you know. I've been able to listen to your lectures on a few or more sutras. So I'm hoping that with those seeds that you planted someday, they'll take root and something
Me
will
too.
happen. Me too. Thank you, Master.
Yeah, amen to that. She used to be a Catholic nun. I think Sister Victorina. Yes, Internet has a question.
I did not mean to offend anyone, but the world we
Go
live
ahead,
in.
offend us anyway.
But the world we live in, the modern times are tougher than when the Buddha or even the sixth patriarch lived. What is the solution? I am from India. I see suffering every day.
I don't have any solution, any Indian solution. I'm sorry. So how do you end the suffering? Okay? do dhyana meditation. I think they call it dhyana in Sanskrit. Don't do Hinayana meditation. Do dhyana meditation. Do Chan meditation, if you will. Chan meditation is the fastest way to end your suffering, all suffering, forever. Okay? There's still available. Unfortunately, I don't know anyone in India who's able to teach dhyana or Chan meditation. Never been to India, could not read the language, so I'm very sorry. If you want to learn that Chan meditation, the way I learned is from a Chinese. There are a few Chinese masters who are still alive in China nowadays, and otherwise, they have to come to the U.S. to find those enlightened teachers. Okay? It's not available anywhere else. Only a few countries can you find these teachers, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to, like the Venerable Huineng, train you to become enlightened so that you can be everywhere, all over the world. Okay? That's my master's vision, Master Shenhua's vision. Okay? Because it's not always possible for you to travel long distances. For example, if you're Chinese, you try to come to the U.S., it's not very easy nowadays. Or you American, and try to go anywhere. No one wants us anymore. Okay? And you in America, if you're Asian, no one wants you either because you carry the Chinese virus. It's so sad nowadays. All right? But anyway, absolutely. The good news is that as long as this person feels that they're suffering and resolves to put an end to it, yes, teachers are available because there's still Mahayana in the world. Any other questions? I'm not always a bearer of bad news. Only when I'm hungry. After I'm full, I speak very positively to help you not fall asleep. Some of you are dozing off already. Such a good lunch today. Thank you very much. Yes. Any other questions? 5 fingers.
Hello, Master. Somebody asked me a question. When you mentioned foundation, what does it mean by foundation?
Sorry, repeat that. Ask question after question. I missed.
Somebody asked me a question. You mentioned about foundation. What does it mean by foundation?
The word foundation before foundation, what verb did you use?
No, I mean, you mentioned about Chan, the foundation for practicing Chan. What is it? Somebody asked.
Okay, the foundation. Okay, so that's a very good question. This is from India or Korea? This person?
This is from Korea.
This is from Korea. Wow. Finally, a good Korean question. Just kidding. Just checking to see if Sang-Wook is falling asleep. Before Sang-Wook didn't laugh at all. She sits for a whole hour. And then after a year, she's and after she's got to where she is today, she said, how people change so quickly. I can't keep up with these people. The Koreans are too much. Anyway, so what is the foundation? The foundation is if you in China it's different, but in nowadays the foundation is the foundation of goodness. You hone your good nature by doing more good every day. That's how you build your foundation. You don't need to be Buddhist. You don't need to shave your head like me. You know, we are professionals. We do it differently from you. But we all have to build our foundations by doing more good every day. That's what we do. If you do that every day, your foundations get stronger and stronger and stronger. That's what it takes. Now, for us Buddhists, okay, we are a little bit, our training is a little bit more precise. For you, you say, goodness, let me see, goodness, and I help people, an old lady cross the street, do charity work. All those are good things that you should do. Absolutely. Go practice Tai Chi, practice Qigong, or whatever you like to do. It's also good stuff. Okay, it's doing good as well. Okay, but for us professionals, we are, especially the Buddhists, our definition of good is more precise than yours. Yours is more intuitive. Ours is much more clearly delineated what's good and what's bad by the Buddhist rules of morality. Okay? So our foundation, we get to build our foundation a lot faster because we know what's essential, and in particular, we know what to avoid. Doing that will destroy your foundation. When you only do good alone, that's only half of the equation. Think about it. Yes, you concentrate on doing good, but you also part of doing good is to avoid doing bad. Okay? So the Buddhist foundation is to avoid doing bad as much as doing good. So we're twice as fast, as effective than you non-Buddhist people. That's why. Does it make sense? But it's okay. Okay, you stay Catholic, you stay Jewish, you should stay Hindu, you stay yoga, you say whatever. That's fine. Okay, you all spiritual pursuits have their definition of goodness. Yes, and they all encourage goodness. Okay, anything that encourages evil, that's not a good foundation for you. It's detrimental to your spiritual pursuits. Okay? And naturally. So the first thing is about doing goodness, and the second thing is that there is a clear definition of goodness, so that in the Buddhists, they know how to construct the foundation a lot better. If you will, it's like they have engineering expertise to build a foundation, versus you who are not trained as engineers, you can build a foundation, but it's not as strong. All right? Probably have a lot of waste, kind of cumbersome, awkward, if you will. Whereas an engineer, one of our disciples is a structural engineer. So, he can look and say, oh, no, that's how you reinforce the wall, how you reinforce the ceiling, and so forth. Okay? So you have the expertise, okay? You have the Buddhist expertise on what this goodness is, and finally, you also have we also understand that for you to be able to do good requires what? Anyone knows? What is the requisite for being able to do good? You don't have to be Buddhist, but I'm asking you. Does anyone know what is the requisite to be able to do good? Yes? You see? See, you all say, oh, I don't know what. See, that's it goes to prove that how detailed, how accurate we are. So we have all this big picture, the interconnection of all these things, the formula of success, if you will. Okay? So what is the requisite to be able to do good? Anyone? Okay? You don't want to talk? We'll move on. Five fingers. See, the Koreans, they will never let me go and say, not so fast, not so fast. I want to say something stupid so that you correct me.
Master, is this taking notes?
What?
Take a notes?
Take a loose? What's take a loose?
Take a notes. I can't speak English anymore.
She's only in Korea for a few months and her English is all gone. Koreans have no sense of loyalty. Okay, no, it's not taking a loss. What is it? It's so fundamental. Yes, sir. Green.
You have to have wisdom.
No! It's so far away. We are not even anywhere near wisdom yet, my friend. It's wishful thinking. It's like impossible for you. then we have it's no chance for us. If we require wisdom to be good, I mean, my God. Yes, blue back there, and then we go back to the better half.
Well, I think it was last week you said everybody has a sense of what's right and wrong inside. So, I mean, the only thing I can think of is sincerity.
Sincerity. Okay, green.
In order to do good, you have to recognize what is good.
Too academic. I was about to say too Chinese by force of habit, but I said, no, too academic. Go first. What do you require? Go first. Wait a minute. The people go first, usually folks, after lunch, they all disappear in San Jose. I don't know what they do, but they all disappear. Yes.
Yes, Master, is that blessings, we need blessing before we do good.
Thank you, go first. It takes blessings to be able to recognize what's good and what's evil. You know that? It takes a lot of blessings to be that. You can read all the books you want, it doesn't matter. Okay? But unless you have blessings, you won't be able to do good. You can know good, but you cannot do good. How's that? Does it make sense? There's a difference between knowing good by reading and doing good is something else. Is it clear? Okay? It's like if you're in business, it takes money to make money. So it takes a lot of blessings, it takes a lot of money to make even more blessings, more money. That's the way it is. You don't like it? Don't go into business. Don't blame me. Excuse me. I need a face mask now. All right. Any other questions? So he read the Vimalakirti Sutra, going back to slide 460, and he awakened the doctrine of the Buddha mind. Okay? Let's continue, see what he says. Sutra text 461. Xuan-Ce said, that was acceptable before the time of the Buddha called the majestic sound Buddha, majestic sound king. But since the coming of that Buddha, all those who self-enlighten without a master belong to externalist religions which hold to the tenet of spontaneity.
策云：威音王以前记得，威音王以后无师自悟，尽是天然外道。
Okay, commentary on 462. So Master Xuan-Ce, the sixth patriarch's disciple, he says, it was okay before a Buddha by the name of Majestic Sound, King, Awesome Sound, King. And his name was came about because his sound penetrates the most remote places in the universe. Okay? I mean, it goes everywhere. As far, the furthest corners in this universe, his sound can go. That's how much, how strong his spiritual penetrations are. He says, before that Buddha came to the world, it's okay to become enlightened and it's okay. You don't need to be certified. But after that Buddha came to the world, whoever knows, we don't even know how long ago, okay? And you have to look it up, okay? I am not interested because way before my time, that's all I know. And after that, so many people claim to be enlightened, and they're all fakes. They're all phony enlightenments. Many people cheat others and claim to be enlightened. So after that Buddha, that includes Buddhists as well as non-Buddhists. So after the Buddha came to the world, okay, the Buddhists know, the true Buddhists, the proper Buddhists know that you need to be certified. Until then, you cannot consider yourself to become enlightened. Questions?
Master, can you explain what he means by spontaneity?
Okay, I'm coming to that. But since the coming, that's our neighbor. He drives a Harley Davidson. You can recognize the sound. I think they go deaf eventually, right? Yes, 5 fingers. Is it an answer or a question? Let her blow her nose first.
A question as well.
Another question? Hang on. We still have a question that's unanswered. Do not confuse me, please. I'm getting older, and my attention span is it gets shorter and shorter and shorter every Sunday. So after that Buddha came to the world, those who those who claim that they become enlightened without a master, meaning he says, without a teacher, and you consider yourself to be enlightened. That's what the Chinese mean. Those who consider themselves to be enlightened without a master, okay, belongs to externalist religions. They are externalists, okay, meaning they're non-Buddhists. So far, so good. And those people are exhaustively 尽是天然外道. They all are, exhaustively, they all are externalists who believe in 天然. 天然 is natural. Okay? Anything that's natural. Thiên nhiên in Vietnamese, and what's Korean? Trung Yin, what's Korean? Trung Yin is so happy, say, yeah, what's 天然?
천년입니다.
Yeah, something like that. Okay? It's Korean here already. Okay? Yeah. So it's spontaneity. So the academians that wrote this text here, translated this text here, use these big words. Hello, neighbor. Welcome back. Only Sunday afternoon. He drives in and out like that all day, all afternoon. I'm so depressed. Anyway, so the people who claim, who think, who believe they're enlightened, and without a master, meaning without someone to certify you. Wu Shi is no master, meaning no master to certify you. Okay? So that's without a certification from a master, are externalists, okay? All belong to externalist religions who believe in spontaneity. Spontaneity is natural, okay? It happens naturally, okay? It occurs naturally, so you don't have to work for it. Okay, it's misguided because there's no such thing as spontaneity. It's nothing called natural. It's all hard work, blood and sweat for all of us Buddhists to become enlightened. It's never like an easy day at the beach or drinking milk from your mothers. It's not like that at all. Okay? You see, we even speak Dharma for the 2-month-old, 1-month-old baby. And guess what? In the future, she said, I have to work hard myself. Because I heard something like that before. Didn't get it back then, but now I got it. Okay, so far so good? So basically, there are a lot of people in Buddhism that they become enlightened, they practice become enlightened, and they know they become enlightened. Okay, and that's why after this Buddha came to the world, those people, the Buddhists who are enlightened, who know they're enlightened, they're next asked to go get a master to certify them. That's what it means. That's all. All right? Yeah. You, as from now, from the time of that Buddha, if you are enlightened, okay, then you need to go seek a teacher. Of course, there are always the non-Buddhists and the Buddhists who think they're enlightened. And many of them, many more than many of them erroneously, mistakenly think they're enlightened. And that's why we encourage them to go seek a good advisor and look at them and says, get out of here. Okay? You're not enlightened. Get out of here. Stop conning people. Okay, in no uncertain terms, get out of here. So that's why there's so many phonies and con men in Buddhism, because and there's still a lot since that Buddha's time until now. It gets worse and worse and worse. That's why the enlightened masters, enlightened people are requested, if you will, to go seek a master to get certification. Why? Why? It's not like you buy something online, one of those websites like I hate to mention that word for the guy to make him richer. So I mention eBay, for example. Okay? You buy something on eBay and they give you a rating, right? They ask you rate this your purchase experience. Right? So it's a similar kind of thing where the master certifies you like a rating. Okay? It's like, yes, you are a reputable seller, if you will. Okay? So why? You guys are so sheltered. You really don't worry about anything at all in the world. No wonder this world is going to the pits. Huh? If you become enlightened, you don't seek to be certified, what happens? What happens? What happens? Blue, come on, take a stab.
Master, I don't know. Anarchy.
Anarchy, right. Everyone wants to claim to be president. Savior of the world. Huh? That's why in India, the gentleman who asked from India this morning. Is it morning or a while ago? There are a lot of phony teachers in India. They manifest spiritual penetrations. Okay. Hey, Alung, would you like to pour some? See, I'm teaching you to be bad. Hey, boy, come over. Pour it on her head. Got it? No. The boy is shaking his head. Master is too naughty for his taste. Never mind. So you have to be here to appreciate the joke here. Anyway, so what happened is the people who become enlightened, who don't seek to be certified, are what? It's okay. You don't need to seek certification, right? No one is forcing you. No one is forcing you. Don't take this wrong. Don't take it as, I became enlightened, I better go get someone to certify you. No, it's not like that in Buddhism at all. I don't want you to have that impression. All it means is that if you become enlightened, you should seek to be certified. Why? Because then, what happens? When you teach, it's okay. You can teach if you want to. But until then, until you're certified, you should not teach. That's all it means. Is that clear? We're not that rigid about requirements, conditions. Buddhism is very natural, if you will, very, very casual, if you will. No one forces you to do anything. But if you want to teach, you should be certified. Why? Why? For your own sake. They don't care about you, they don't know about you. You come here and you'll be gone tomorrow. Let's face it. They're worried about us teaching you, and if we teach you the wrong things, what happens? We fall and fall and fall and fall and fall. Week after week after week after week. And all the investments all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have made on us are lost. You see that? So it's like, if you will, they invest in us, in you Koreans, in you undeterminate. I look at you. They invest in us. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas invest in us. So, because it's just like we raising our children. They expect nothing from us, right? And you turn out to be a good boy, fine. You turn out to be a bad girl, it's okay. No one cares, okay? You're just children, doesn't matter. But they invest so much. And once you become enlightened, okay, they want to protect you so that you don't fall. Is that right? And that's why in Buddhism, we typically don't teach prematurely. Is that clear? We don't teach at all. We shut up. Don't pretend to teach. Don't pretend to know. Okay? Only after you become certified, that's when you say, whatever comes out of your mouth is proper Dharma. Then it's to your benefit to start teaching. Because once you have wisdom, you cannot hide it. You cannot keep it to yourself. It's not allowed. Is that clear? It's just kind of clever. It's for our protection as well as our aid to enhance our wisdom. Understand the process? You were confused. So the teacher who has been certified helped you get out of your confusion. So they create blessings for themselves to be helped themselves. Is that clear? It's a beautiful, beautiful network. It sounds like we are so disparate. Okay, like there's Hinayana, there's someone called Theravada, someone called Hinayana, someone called Tibetan, someone called, so whatever. Okay, but actually it's all part of the big picture. Okay, don't reject them. Don't say, I'm only doing chant, I'm only doing mantra, I'm only doing Tibetan, I'm only doing Indian Buddhism or Vietnamese Buddhism or Korean Buddhism. No such a thing. Okay? It's all interconnected. This lifetime you're Korean, next lifetime you could be, who do you hate in Korea? Zen. Okay, so it's kind of cool. Okay, so far so good. So these masters says it's natural. Of course, I'm enlightened naturally. There's no need to do anything. No, it's not about natural. It's not about spontaneity. It's about sharing the goodness, doing your duty. We've been investing in you all these years, these lifetimes. It's time for you to go to work. Right? It's not natural at all. Do not ever assume that you become naturally enlightened. It's a lot of investments, a lot of blood and sweat for that to happen. Trust me. We have some more information on this Buddha here, on slide, commentary in slide 463. Countless Asamkhyeya kalpas ago, majestic sound King Buddha came to the world, taught countless kalpas for countless kalpas. Next Buddha is called majestic sound King Buddha, 2 trillion such Buddhas in succession. That's a lot of zeros. That's Buddhism for you. You only worry about trillionaires and one lifetime. They're talking about trillions of Buddhas. Next, 464. After he entered Nirvana, each Buddha entered Nirvana, during the Dharma semblance era, lots of arrogant bhikshus of great influence. There were a lot of bhikshus of great influence, and there was a bhikshu never sliding. So this is to prove to you that this particular Buddha appeared in the world a long, long time ago, and it's recorded in many Buddhist texts. That's all it is. Don't try to get the zeros or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay? No one cares. Yeah. Yes, internet.
Yes, but Master, the Lotus Sutra says that everybody will be a Buddha one day. So doesn't that mean enlightenment is natural?
Does it mean enlightenment is natural? Oh. Oh, good question. I'm so tired. Someone help me out. Enlightenment is natural. Is this a Chinese person or a Western person? What is the moniker?
Western.
Western person. No wonder. Yeah? Is it natural? Enlightenment natural? I'm sorry if I have to bring it up. We have a lot of babies here today. Do babies come out naturally? They grow up naturally? Huh? Do babies become adults naturally? Yes, sir. Red.
Tôi nghĩ cái enlightenment nó tới từ cái blessing của cái đương sự đó và những cái giúp đỡ của Tam Bảo, của chư Thiên, Long Thiên, Hộ Pháp. Nhiều cái nguồn lắm chứ không phải cá nhân đó, nhưng mà không phải tự nhiên.
He says, no, it's not natural. It's a lot of work, a lot of support.
Mặc dù cái người đó có sẵn nhưng mà không biết làm sao khai cái đó ra. Phải nhờ cái support của Tam Bảo, của Long Thiên Hộ Pháp, của chúng sanh, kể cả thí chủ, đủ thứ mọi phương diện.
It is, he repeats that, it takes a lot of support, a lot of work from a lot of supporters. Here's what happens. It's good that this question is raised, because that's exactly my first reaction when I read about these things 25 years ago. So I appreciate the honesty of this person asking the questions. Okay, it's a good question to ask, because I remember my thinking was like this too when I first started. So please feel free to ask questions. We may make fun of you, but don't take it personally. We're nasty people. Yeah. That's who we are. Okay. But the point being that the assumption is different from different perspectives. What I'm getting at is that you look at the English, okay, sentence. It says, in the Lotus Sutra, it says that everyone will become a Buddha if so and so. For example, you bow, you do a nod to the Buddha, okay, statue, image, then you will become enlightened. You will become a Buddha yourself, guaranteed. That's what the Buddha said. Okay? Yeah. All he says is that you will become a Buddha. Does it say naturally? If I need to add one more word, I would say you will definitely become a Buddha. You will inexorably become a Buddha, meaning you're on the way to become a Buddha. Okay? However long or slow or fast depends on a lot of factors. So it's not natural at all. So far, so good? It's a good question. That's why I answer politely. Okay? Because that's how I used to think as well. Okay. Any other question? Yes, 5 fingers.
Master, I received the question yesterday. I received the question yesterday one of the Venerable told me that if you don't live home life, it's impossible to become a fourth stage arhat. Is that true?
If you don't live the home life, it's impossible to become a first stage arhat. Is it from which person? Is it from Korea or India?
한국에서 그러냐, 인도에서 그러냐. Fourth, not first. Fourth.
Fourth stage arhat. Is it from India or Korea? What does it have to do with the question? I'm just curious. Oh God, can I be curious? I don't think she understands my question. So this is person here. The statement comes from a sunim or a lay person.
본 적이 없잖아. 아라하는 그러니까 내가 아라하는 제가 아라한 산바까지는 되지만 제가 잘했어요. 출가를 해야 아라한.
안 된대요, 아니면 어렵지. So the Venerable Sunim right here,
Yes.
she saw in the sutras and the references that
I've heard from the venerables
in Taiwan.
in Taiwan.
She said this information came from the Sunims in Taiwan.
It's two sunim in Taiwan. Okay. No wonder. No, it's not true. It's not true. Absolutely false. Don't believe the Taiwanese. Let them stay in the country. It's a American fun expression. When they discriminate against you here, they say, "Go back to your country." So I modified a little bit to pick on the people who are in the countries already. Anyway, never mind. It's not even funny, I know. Especially to Koreans. It's absolutely false. I will cite you a few instances. Okay? Would you like to hear them? And it's a good thing you ask. You need to clarify these things so that these misconceptions are clearly answered. And so to eliminate confusion, okay, I have a few ways to answer this. Okay, number one, okay, in the Buddhist sutras, you heard of the pure rice king, right? The Buddha's father. You heard of him? Yes? Okay. He became a disciple of the Buddha himself and cultivated as a king. And he certified to third stage arhat himself. Okay? This is in the sutras. And when he was dying, okay, he is about to die, the Buddha sent one of his disciples, I believe is Mahamoggallana, because they have conditions together, to go over to the king's deathbed and speak the Dharma for him. And because of that, the king certified the fourth stage arhat, and then he died. So the king was a lay person. So this is in our sutras, our record. It shows, it demonstrates that lay people can certify the fourth stage arhats. So far, so good. In no uncertain terms, it is the case. Okay? Now, in case of you, so let the Taiwanese stay in Taiwan, okay? And believe whatever they want to believe. Well, I don't want you Koreans in Korea to believe that if you certify fourth stage arhat, then you die. that's no good either. Okay? So the fact of the matter is that there are, in the US, a lot of lay people still alive. Some of them still young. Okay? Who they are 4-stage arhats or higher. That's a fact. I know them. If you want the names, we can talk about it in private. Okay? Contact me. Those of you who are my long-term followers, you know what this means. Everything is for sale. Okay? So there are actually living people here in the US who are 4-stage arhats, who are lay people. Okay? I know of. Okay? And number 3, let me prove to you that lay people, logically, lay people can certify they can become arhats themselves. Okay? Why? Arhatship, whether it's 1st stage arhat, 2nd stage, 3rd stage, okay, and 4th, they basically are what? Samadhi levels. That's all. That's all they are. Between the various levels of attainment are basically different levels of samadhis. A 4th-stage arhat samadhi is what we call here in our temple 9th samadhi. Okay? So it means that anyone can, all you have to do is you reach that level and you're 4th-stage arhat, no matter who you are. You could be black, you could be white, you could be a child, you could be, could be anyone. As a matter of fact, I witnessed myself a young lady, in this country, who, when I first paid attention to her, she was a 2nd-stage arhat. When she came to my house, she was a 2nd-stage arhat. And within a year, she became enlightened. So you should all be so ashamed of yourself. She's not even Buddhist, and she's enlightened. And you've been practicing so hard with me, and you're nowhere near enlightenment. Shame on you. Story of my life. Only losers come here. The good one, they stay away. So, Master YongHua, I don't want anything to do with him. But then she got stuck. 4, over 10 years already. That's what my disciple called evil laugh. Okay, so anyway, the quick answer, the short answer is this: not true. Lay people can reach arhatship. Anyone can reach arhatship. Any other questions? All right. It's these people, when they talk like that, it's because they just read things. They read this thing here, read the thing there, and so forth. And I read similar thing like this as well, not from Taiwanese, maybe because I went to Taiwan. Someone back then, when I was cultivating, I also read somewhere it says, you, as a layperson, you can only reach 3rd stage arhat. Okay? And then later, and that's what I believe as well as this Taiwanese person. And then later, I read more and I realized the Buddha's father story. He became a fourth stage arhat on his deathbed. He passed away. So that's a proof right there. It made me dig deeper and deeper. Yeah. All right? So, nonsense. Don't believe the Taiwanese nonsense. Okay. Back to the real teaching. 465. Sutra text. Then, will you please certify me, kind sir? Said Xuan Jue.
曰：愿仁者为我证据。
仁者. I don't know Chinese well enough to say 仁者 is kind sir. Okay, so we on commentary, slide 466. So Xuan Jue, when he heard the proper teaching, he says, if you think you're enlightened, you need to be certified. And he says, then will you certify me? You see? And my experience has been, when you talk to people like this, but they say, but, they always argue. This guy who has wisdom, he says, certify me. I know what I know, certify me. You see that? Whereas the people who are not enlightened, they say, but. I disagree. 467, Sutra text. Xuan Ce said, my words are of little worth. Where the great master, the sixth patriarch, is at Caoxi, where people gather like clouds from the four directions.
策云：我言清，曹溪有六祖大师，四方云集。
468. Xuan Ce replied, my words are of little worth. But the great master, sixth patriarch, is at Caoxi, at YongHua temple, where people gather like clouds from four directions. So basically he says, my words don't mean much, don't have much weight. In contrast, my master's words are a lot more significant, a lot more meaningful. Okay? Why? Let me give you background information, please, okay, before you jump for the gun like this Taiwanese person. Before Xuan Ce was sent out by the sixth patriarch, he sent Xuan Ce to travel around, talk to people. Why? Because there's no internet back then. Okay? So he had said, I certify you already. You go and talk to people. Okay? And spread the word about the proper teaching. Is that clear? All right. So clearly, Xuan Ce is enlightened, and Master Huineng certified him before sending him out. Okay? Now, why we say my words are of little worth? All Xuan Jue says once is that certify me. He didn't say, your words have, I want big certification, I want a big diploma, I want a certification from a great name institution. Okay? But Xuan Ce says, no, my words are not worth much at all. He didn't say I'm not enlightened. He didn't say that I cannot certify you. He simply says, my words are of little worth to you. Why? Hey, hello. Don't kiss your sister. Keep busy. Come here. Pour on. The mother trains him too well. You're such a good boy. Yeah. So why? Come on, people. Why? Xuan Tzu, of course, can recognize Xuan Jue is enlightened. Yes, that's a fact. So he himself can certify Xuan Jue, but he refused. He says, no, I don't want to certify you. Because you should go see my teacher and learn something from him. I have nothing to teach you. But he's such a great teacher. Don't miss the opportunity. That's all it means. It's not a trick. It's not trying to sell anything. He just said, for your own good, I will not certify you. I'm forcing you to go over there to my teacher and get certification because it's much better for you. Is that clear? So it's out of compassion, out of kindness. Okay? So he's actually teaching Xuan Jue. He basically says, you seek certification by itself is meaningless. You enlighten. Who cares you certified or not between enlightened people? They don't care, trust me. Does it make sense to you? How does it help? How does it change anything? They're enlightened already. He's enlightened, she's enlightened, They're not enlightened yet, stuff like that. Who cares whether you're certified or not after you've been enlightened? But what matters is whether you can learn from a good known advisor. It's not enlightenment, it's not certification. See that? You seek certification to help teach others, okay? But it's better yet, you go and get certification from a great teacher. That's very classy of the Chinese. Okay? Very classy. Xuan Tzu is very classy. Okay? Now you know why the sixth patriarch sent him out. The guy has class. He's a good representative of the teaching. Oh, now my thing is acting up. Slide 469, Sutra text. He is one who has received the Dharma. If you wish to go, I will accompany you.
并是受法者，若去，则与偕行。
So, you see, on the commentary on slide 470, and this is so classy. Okay? Remember, Xuan Tzu's job is to go around and spread the teaching. Right? That's his job. And yet, he looked at Xuan Jue and he says, you want certification? Okay, you should go to see my teacher, okay, and I will accompany you if you decide to do that. I will carry your luggage for you. I will fetch water for you when you take a break. I will wash your feet for you if you need to along the way. Okay, I will accompany you. Okay, that's how classy this guy is, because he respects Xuan Jue's level. He really have a lot of respect for Xuan Jue. So he says, I'm busy, okay? I'm very busy. However, because you choose to believe me and go see my master, okay, I will show you my respect for you by accompanying you, suspending my work, go and accompany you, because basically it's a waste of my time. I'm not gonna, my teacher taught me a bunch of things already, okay? It's not much more I can get out of you, but I will accompany you out of respect for you. to trust my words and go see my master. It is so classy. Boys and girls, learn this. This is very important. It shows good breeding from the sixth patriarch. Did you get that, sleepyhead? It's class. This is very classy. I really like this. Because I think most of my disciples would say, now you know where to go. Just go. I see you later. No, accompanies him back. Escorts him to see his teacher. Say, teacher, this is someone who seeks to be certified from you. Okay? Very classy individual. This is the behavior of enlightened people. Polished, not clumsy. After you become enlightened, you keep on polishing yourself, not just say, I made it. Now I can retire. So I will accompany you. This is, to me, is so classy. This guy, I love this Swencer guy. I would love to learn from this guy. He's so classy. And Swencer was only 31 years when he met the sixth patriarch. 471, Sutra text. Thereupon, Jue went with Sir to call upon the master. Upon arriving, he circumambulated the master 3 times, shook his staff, and stood in front of him.
觉遂同侧来参，绕师三匝，正膝而立。
So he went together, and they both got to Nanhua Si. That's the temple Nanhua in China, somewhere in China. They circumambulated the patriarch 3 times from left to right. Okay, that's the tradition. We don't do that here in the U.S. anymore because we don't have time to do that anymore. So American. So they circumambulated 3 times, and then he stood in front of the 6th patriarch. Okay. Shook his staff, meaning put his staff down and go like this. That's shook his staff. Can you see this? You know why I know? Chinese movie. Where else? What's the matter with you? Don't you watch movies? Okay, so he shook his staff. Okay, this is what I saw in Kung Fu movies. The Shaolin movie. You see, Juan agrees with me. We saw the same movies. He stood there and then stood in front of him. And you know what happened? I don't know what the next slide is because I saw it a couple years ago. And this is what happened. If you were in a movie, what's going to happen? You will do a close-up of Swencer's face. And his face turned wide. He's terrified because he's the one who brought this idiot in front of his teacher. Can you see that? You guys have no sense of humor. Let's move on. It's okay. It's okay. Think about it. And 473, Sutra text, the master said, inasmuch as the Shramana has perfected the 3,000 awesome deportments and the 80,000 fine practices, where does this virtuous one come from, and what makes him so arrogant?
夫沙门者，具3000威仪，8万细恨，大德自何方而来？生大我慢。
Now you're seeing class from the Chinese, okay? Classy pupil, classy teacher. I want you to pay attention, boys and girls. I mean, we don't teach you class in America. But this is where we go back to the Chinese and learn class from them. Okay? Wait a minute. There's no commentary except my master's? Oh my God. So my master, Master YongHua said, the 250 comportments, not departments, oh my God. It's deportments, not departments. You idiot. I think I wrote this. For each of the 4 body postures, standing, sitting, walking, lying down. He likes to do this, so it's good to read it, okay, for you first-timers. The 3,000 comportments, okay, deportments, okay, corrected. Hey, Chinese person. Multiplied by the past, present, future makes 3,000, and then there are actually 84,000 fine practices, although the text gives the number as 80,000. Okay. And he's very detailed, my Chinese master. I'm lazy. I want anything beyond 1,000, I stop counting. When you send me email that's longer than 3 sentences, 衔接, what happens? It's ignored. Okay, anyway. So I have to go back to this. I find it kind of comical that the master replied. You have a guy who's walking around here very pompous 3 times. Here I am, walking around him 3 times. And he's busy, of course. The 6th Patriarch has thousands of disciples to worry about. And the guy got in front of him because his disciple Xuanze said, Master, I brought you someone. He needs to see you. And the guy goes, 3 times. Shook his staff. And what did the master do? He says, if you're not talking, I will talk for you. A Shramana, okay, and this Chinese is very, very, very concise. The English kind of dilutes a little bit. Fu Sha Men Zhe, okay, Chinese says, a Shramana, okay, is complete with 3,000 awesome comportments. I don't like the wordy, the lengthy translation. It really is not, doesn't do justice to the Chan interchange between these 2 Chan masters. They are like, they hit you at the pressure points, either kill you or maim you for life, okay? Harm you for life. They're not taking hostages. So to use wordy languages like this misses the point, in my humble opinion. He basically says, a Shramana, okay, has 3,000 awesome comportments, okay, and 80,000 subtle characteristics. Fine, practices. The great virtuous one, the great virtuous is how you address a monk in China. Ba De, great virtue. Okay, everyone who has received full precepts are called Tata. All of us are Tata, if you will. I'm Tata. He's Tata. She's Tata. Okay? Maybe not. The point here is that, Apple, before I forget, my disciple needs to take the driver's road test. He's looking for a very short car to hopefully pass the parking test. Can we ask for help? Anyway, so he says, a monk must be replete. A monk must be. It's not perfected. He must be replete with. He means you must be. This is a patriarch teaching. He doesn't say perfected. Who cares you perfected or not? Perfection has nothing to do with it. Because you must be complete, replete with the 3,000 awesome comportments and the 80,000 subtle practices. Statement, fact. Okay? My standard as a sixth patriarch, fact. You are. I'm shocked. That's not part of the 3,000 awesome comportments. And we're talking, in the midst of talking 3,000 awesome comportments, some of my disciples are. What's wrong with that? One of the 3,000, you sit like a bell. You don't lean back, you don't slouch forward. So 大德, great virtuous one, from which direction you come from, and what makes you so arrogant? Sheng here is produce. What he means is, what did I do? What did we do to make you so arrogant? What did I do? You see how classy it is? He doesn't say that, how can you be so arrogant? That's what I would say. Because I have no class American, Vietnamese American. The sixth patriarch, being a classy Chinese, he says, what did we do that makes you so arrogant? Sheng Da De Wo Man, meaning that Sheng means produce. What produces this arrogant attitude? Meaning, what did we do to make you so arrogant? Isn't it beautiful? It bites. If he throws it at you, you say, whoa! Wouldn't you? So, I can't wait to find out what happens next, which we will not find out until next week. Oh, that's right. Thank you. It's all prearranged. Okay, I entertained you enough for 2 hours. You know, when you realize 2 hours is a very tough thing to do, especially after a good lunch. Yeah, look at her. She's sleeping for most of the 2 hours. Okay, as my proof. Very difficult to stay awake. So thank you all for coming. Let's do a rebirth transference to help these 3 remaining people. Go to the Pure Land. Thank you all. See you next time. Yeah, so half-hearted. Applause.